So when we were discussing, or rather having a word about what to speak about in this special address, I think what emerged was to talk more about rising global risks and building what was said to be a future-proof India, but I would like to say a future-ready India, and the role of the insurance sector in this changing atmosphere. So, as India strides towards becoming a developed nation, we aim for Viksit Bharat 2047. Ensuring comprehensive financial security for every Indian citizen becomes a non-negotiable. For a stable and inclusive economy, it is the cornerstone of Viksit Bharat. And for us to achieve it, we need a multidimensional focus. We need to focus on sustainable and inclusive growth through bringing a rural and urban divide, bridging the rural and urban divide, to ensuring equitable access to opportunities and resources, investing in human capital by improving healthcare, education and skills, promoting innovation and technology as creators of new opportunities, and financial inclusion for all. And herein lies the central theme of making India future-ready, or if you choose to say future-proof, amidst rising global risks. But if you talk about rising global risks, I look at it in two different categories altogether. Number one is the standard way of looking at the global risks, the geopolitical risks. Yes, those exist, as well as climate change, and we'll talk about it a bit later. But I think for a strong India that's resilient, that can withstand multiple risks arising from wherever they need to be, the most important thing is to have a very secure population. Securing the future of our people, their financial stability, is key to a future India. And only then, when we can be very sure of their security, can we really say that we are future ready and that we are future proof. The role of insurance in this can never be overstated. I think, you have many definitions of insurance, and one of the best that I've ever come across in my life says that insurance is an institution, whatever you would like to call it, that actually reduces the volatility or smoothens the volatility of any balance sheet, whether it be enterprise or it be individual. I don't think any other definition covers insurance so well. If we talk about statistics, we are at a position where we have 4% penetration by GDP, one of the measures of insurance premium as a percentage of GDP. It's increasing, but it's still far from the 6.8% average, global average. But that doesn't give the complete picture. I think if you look at the insurance gap, the gap for each individual, for each little enterprise, it's far more. With just 1%, imagine with just 1% homes really being covered under insurance, what is the exposure that we have to risks just by climate change and by natural catastrophic perils, and how difficult it is for people to get back to their livelihood once they're struck by any of these events. A lot has been said as to why insurance the penetration is less, or there continues to be a gap. We've all heard lack of awareness, trust deficit, affordability concerns, distribution challenges, especially in the rural areas. But within these challenges are the opportunities. And the road to universal coverage is something that we have to evolve. And it's in this context that Insurance for All 2047 is not just a regulatory vision, but it becomes a national imperative. It can be achieved by the contribution and the shared vision of each stakeholder, the government, the regulator, as well as the insurance industry. The government has been doing its piece by introducing flagship schemes such as the Ayushman Bharat. It has made significant strides in covering a very vast segment of the population for health coverages. It has brought about protection for millions. The scheme serves as a beacon of hope. And equally important is bringing about financial literacy, something that teaches people that insurance is more a necessity and not just an expense. Incentivizing insurance adoption will also go a long way. Tax benefits, subsidies where it counts. All these things will benefit the insurance sector, the population quite substantially. It will go a far way in increasing awareness, in increasing penetration, in increasing coverage at an individual level. And my concern or our concern is more that when you say insurance for all 2047, it really means that every Indian has at least a health policy, a life insurance policy, and a property policy that covers his home and his business. Awareness and government schemes can go a long way in that. Most recently, there is a proposal from the government to also increase FDI to 100%. The regulator has also been working towards increasing the number of players in this country so that there will be deeper penetration and we can expect more and more coverage. The IRDAI on its own has been taking a lot of initiatives in this segment. A huge set of regulatory reforms has taken place in the last 2 years. As we strive towards a vision for insurance for all, we move to transformative reforms and policy initiatives have been taken that are aimed at enhancing penetration, promoting inclusivity, and ensuring that the insurance ecosystem evolves in steps with India's dynamic needs. To encourage innovation, we have reformed the product filing and approval system. It's much easier under the use and file system for insurers to make new products, innovative products, and bring them to the market with the reduced delays and higher efficiency. De-tariffing of the general insurance products has gone another step forward in opening the doors for innovation. The sandbox regulations that have come out from the regulator's office and the revised ones most recently have made it even easier on tap and long term to introduce new innovations, experiment with new innovations that can be useful in improving penetration as well as universal coverage. Most recently, in the regulations, in the revised regulations, there has been a greater and greater focus on policyholder protection. One of the key elements that was introduced was the consumer information sheet, something that has to be shared by whoever the distributor is, whoever the insurer is, with the insured, with the policyholder at the time of the sale of the policy itself. This is supposed to be a document that gives, in very simple terms, the coverages, the key points of an insurance policy, and makes the customer, the policyholder, the prospect aware of what he is going to acquire, what he is going to buy. There are always a lot of complaints, a lot of grievances that I didn't know what I was buying, there was a fine print. This is specifically in that direction to address and make clear and simple what is the insurance that you are buying. Customer-friendly steps have been introduced in health insurance in a big way. Move towards 100% cashless settlements anywhere, or pre-authorization within 1 hour of request, discharge within 3 hours, or discharge of the post-authorization of the claims within 3 hours of being put in have been made mandatory. There are penalties if insurers fail to meet that. These measures are all intended to make claiming easy. Claiming is easy, making a claim is easy, and it is supported by a robust grievance handling mechanism, different levels, both at the insurance company level, at Bima Bharosa, as well as the Ombudsman level. The multiple options are provided and they are popularized at a regular intervals to make it more and more friendly for people to be able to make their insurance claims. The state-level insurance plans that have been introduced are intended to achieve deep penetration. With the lead insurers being assigned to each state, it is expected that it will drive insurance penetration at the grassroots level. State-specific needs are better understood through the collaboration of state governments and local stakeholders, and we will make sure through SLP that no region is left behind. One of the key initiatives that the insurance regulator has promoted is what you have been hearing, and I think later in the day that you have a discussion on it, is Bima Sugam. Bima Sugam is intended to be a digital public infrastructure, an insurance electronic marketplace which aims at bringing all the stakeholders in the value chain at one platform, at one place, improving efficiency, improving transparency, making more products available, improving services and improving every aspect, deepening penetration, and as I said, making claims easier, which will get us to insurance for all by 2047. And of course, in all this, while the government has played its part, the regulator is also playing its part. The insurance industry cannot stay behind. Insurance industry needs to work towards achieving, rethinking their distribution models so that they can have deeper penetration across different segments, geographies, and products. Develop new customized products which will address the changing faces of risk, which will address the different needs. Importantly, while in the health segment, while the government schemes have been very adept and have efficiently covered a very vast population at the lower income end, at the upper income end, people are able to buy insurance, but we are left with something that is referred to as a missing middle. The insurance industry has to work towards bringing about a new approach, customized products, and developing methodologies, distribution, products, groups, whatever it takes to address this missing middle. Otherwise, we have a vast population which remains without health insurance coverage. Leveraging technology, I don't think we can ever say anything less about it. The speed at which technology is moving, that is the way to go. And as much as we leverage technology, the better it will be for policyholder, for transparency, as well as for being able to service the last mile. Given this background of how we are and should be working and progressing towards addressing our own needs, our own insurance needs, our population, the needs of our people, making everyone secure, we cannot lose sight of the fact that, like forever, risk is changing. The face of risk is always changing. It changes over the years, over the decades, and I don't think it has changed faster than this. There was a time in history when anything that the risk was only perceived to be purely physical, a fire or something. Then business interruptions became more important. Then other products became more important, other things became more important. And today I think what is in everybody's lips as we talk about it is on everybody's WhatsApp is the cyber risk. And the worst thing about cyber risk is, whereas it started from something as attacks or a risk for enterprises, it has moved to you and me. It has moved to individuals. It's in our pocket, which we carry day in and day out, and at the same time look at it for at least 7 to 8 hours a day. So that is the way that we are exposing. We have to understand this. We have to develop methods to prevent, to safeguard against these kind of risks, and this is what the globalization is bringing. And I was reading very recently that with the evolution of quantum computing, we are going to see technology jump at a speed that has been unheard of or unseen before. And at the same time, the nature of risk will once again change, and it will be upon us much faster and in a much more complex way. We need to work together to build preventive measures, to build measures that can protect each individual, and if you are struck by it, to see that you are protected through insurance. The emerging geopolitical risks across the world, be it conflicts in different places, be it financial stability or instability in certain areas, whatever it means, brings new challenges for us. It creates uncertainties and economic volatilities. There is increased risk of property damage, and above all, for the insurance industry, there is a decreasing capacity in the reinsurance market, which reduces overall capacity for us. We need to work for it as the regulator, as the insurance industry, to increase capacity, to increase domestic capacity, which can be brought about by introduction of new players, by other methodologies that can be done. The regulator has been working consistently towards bringing in the risk-based capital regime and the regulations. This is a way that will also benefit the insurers, benefit the market, and it will assign capital to the appropriate risk. And as we see more and more complex risks and other risks coming in, insurers will be able to better utilize and manage their capital. Not to leave behind something that gets talked about a lot and is really upon us is climate change. I think there is nothing more global than climate change today. And the manifestation that we are seeing and which is affecting us is increasing number and severity of the natural catastrophic or what are called NatCat perils and NatCat events. Not only is it increasing in severity in numbers, but it is coming up in unpredictable locations at unpredictable times. Patterns, we know that weather patterns are changing, but suddenly we have rains in locations which are just unheard of and of intensity that are unknown. An integrated approach is required from all sides, from all segments, right? Not only just in a question of insurance, but every segment needs to contribute in this, even to the extent that we may need to rethink the kind of drainages that we build in everywhere to handle far, far more amounts of rain in locations which were perhaps arid at one point of time. We need to build capacity, new kinds of products like parametric products, which will make it easier for people to not only take insurance against these perils, but also to be able to claim when such natural catastrophes strike. We need to expand reinsurance capacity in this market so that we are able to handle more and more and be self-reliant rather than go elsewhere. One of the key things, and I'm very proud of this fact, is that the global risks in this world brought the pandemic upon everyone across the globe. I think India responded phenomenally. The proactive government approach to the pandemic, the coming out with the vaccine in time, saved lives and reduced the span of the pandemic. Even our insurance industry stood by its policyholders. Whereas in many geographies and jurisdictions which we don't hear about on a day-to-day basis, insurers withdrew, saying that this was not a covered peril. Not in the case in India. Every insurance policy stood by its policyholder, and that was a proud moment for us. So as we commit ourselves to a shared vision of insurance for all by 2047, we have to both address our internal risks, make our own population, our own people financially secure, make them secure through insurance. We have to ensure that each individual, as I said, at least has a sufficient health insurance, property insurance, and a life insurance so that they feel secure. And it is through this that we will be able to manage and address global risks that will continue to come upon us. With this, I would like to conclude and say that working together, all stakeholders, we can build a resilient, prosperous, and future-ready India. Thank you very much.